My name is Jamie Madrox.
Hello, my name is Paul.
And when you're done doing whatever you... I can't believe they're doing that. Look what they're doing.
Is that cat pooping?
Just stop what you're doing right now. And when you're done, come back and check out Media Litter Sandwich. We'll be here waiting for you. We don't have all day, so hurry it up.
That cat's pooping.
Clean that up and get back to us.
Welcome to Media Litter Sandwich. I'm Toaden from Toaden.com and of course MediaLitterSandwich.com. Today we have two interviews for you. I interviewed Twiztid, yes, the rap group, over at Astronomicon. They actually put on Astronomicon. It was really cool. We talk about why they didn't include themselves or the record label in the branding, because it was the record label that put on the con. And it was really cool, I gotta tell you. It was in the blizzard where, yeah, there's a big snowstorm going on in the Detroit area. And for this first year, 3-day con, they did good. For a first year con and a snowstorm, they did really good. And we talk about that. And yes, there is cussing in this episode. I decided not to bleep it out because not only do we talk to Twiztid, but we also talk to Kevin Nash. Yes, a wrestler. I didn't interview Kevin Nash. Dave Hernan, who's been on this show several times, who is a professional reporter, interviewed Kevin Nash. I was there when he used my equipment. It was just an opportunity, and you know that interview is being used for other things. It's really cool because Dave Hernan hasn't interviewed in front of the camera in a while, so you can see he's really nervous. Pay attention to that. Watch that he's nervous, and he asks a line of questions about where Kevin Nash grew up. Why? Well, that way he can use it professionally. It meets the criteria for what he needs to talk about to get it into his professional career. And if you listen, I'm sure you could figure out which ones he's asking for his job and which questions he's asking for himself, because Kevin Nash is an actor. He might have been in a couple movies that Dave really likes that may not be so relevant anymore. So listen to that. Check that out. Remember, the video version's different than the audio version. You can find the video version on YouTube. And of course the website too, MediaLitterSandwich.com. After those two interviews, I have an announcement to make. And one more thing to play, not an interview, but a shout out, which may be a part of the announcement. So check it out. And yes, again, warning, there is cussing in that scene too. Not a lot, but there's a couple F-bombs in this episode. Usually, Media Litter Sandwich is pretty family friendly. This episode, because these are all guests, I didn't want to censor them. So if that's an issue, comment down below and let me know. These are things I need to know, but there are some F-bombs, not a lot. There's less than 10 in this whole episode. I listened, I counted, I think. Anyways, see you in a few minutes.
All right, first I gotta ask you guys, why this con? You guys are responsible for this con, right?
Secretly, behind the closed doors of Magic Ninja Entertainment, yes. We came up with this idea, me and Jamie, like 17 years ago of doing this.
It's true. It's true.
And finally we got a chance to do it. And I think we did a good job, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I agree. We grew up in the convention scenario kind of scene, and scarily enough, we have probably been to more conventions than we have been to rock shows.
Absolutely.
Less the ones we perform, obviously.
Right.
I mean, that's a scary scenario because you would figure, you guys have been to a million shows. Not really.
No.
We've been to Star Trek conventions, comic book conventions, sport car conventions. That's the kind of shit.
Gun and knife shows.
We're losing power. No, but yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, so this is home to us, and it was surprising to us to find out how much of our core audience had not been to a con before. Legitimately, that's mind-blowing to me.
Now, when you say Star Trek cons, is that in this area?
Oh, Dearborn?
Yeah.
Dearborn
Yeah.
Civic
Dude,
Center.
yeah,
Yes, look at
that's
you.
how I started, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I was
That's
going
how
to
it
those
started.
things. I was like 10
Absolutely,
years
man.
old, probably younger than that going to those.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It was so much fun.
Jimmy Doohan
That's where it
and they
started.
got, come on, Forrest Kelly and you, come on, Deep
Yep.
Forest Kelly,
Yep.
pardon me. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I met Stan Lee at one of those things.
He did. He legitimately.
And I didn't know who he was.
My grandpa took us to go meet Stan Lee, and it was
So dope.
crazy. You know, two kids from the hood actually getting away from that shit to go see something like this, and that's why we think it's cool. It's like a family fun element, man, that so many people don't know about. It's amazing. It's I cannot believe so many people don't know about this, and that bothers me. It bothers Monoxide. It bothers us. So we wanted to do this and make this the new thing to do, an annual event.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh man, with the weather as horrible it was this weekend, all the vendors were so shocked that
sure.
last night
sure.
in like the biggest snowstorm in years.
Really?
You know, the
Really?
most it set record. I believe it set a record for the most snowfall
That's
in a
awesome.
single day. And they're just like, yeah, we thought we'd be twiddling our thumbs. And every vendor I talked to said they made table, they made
That's
you know,
awesome.
they made their hotel bill.
That's awesome.
Everything's profit. You know,
That's great to hear.
that is just so amazing.
That alone is great to hear, just because, just based on when.
That's what it's about, man. It's not about me and you.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I
that's,
mean?
and that's something that we also did. I mean, and it wasn't hard for us either, because when we brought this up, we were like, please do not make the focus on us.
Right.
Make it so that in some strange world, like our talking's behind closed doors. Obviously now it's
Right.
we're at the Astronomicon, so it's no longer a secret. You know what I mean? But in the original floor plan, it was like, make it look like we're being asked to come to this event.
Right. We don't want our
Don't make
faces
it our
plastered
event.
all
You know what I
over
mean?
it. Right.
And it's so like, yeah. So the fact that all these people are here, and then when the weather came like that, it just, to say that I was shitting bricks.
Because people that don't
Sorry,
know,
shitting
when they
rocks.
find out that
Yeah.
we had that we did this,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
blown away. And that's
sure.
what we mean. We just, that's something that we've always felt like
Right.
we're just misjudged.
I
I believe
agreed.
a lot of people have this perception of what me and him are, and we believe it is absolutely wrong. So we try to do stuff like this to bring in people that have never heard of us,
And
or
that's
maybe
what's-
have heard of us and have judged us wrongly.
Right.
And then they come in here and they see it, and they're like, maybe I'm wrong.
And that's part of the reason why the record label isn't on the posters, isn't on the promotion.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's refreshing to see a new surge of people coming in and being like, what's this music? And the people that are here for the music being like, what's this vendor, or what's this show? You know what I mean? It's a mixing and a melding pot of all of the things that we love and what we do. So it's helping out. It's us bringing our wrestling buddies in and our actor buddies and all this shit in, you know, and all the people, and props to all of them who actually
Right.
came and pulled for us, because first time cons never get love. So many people were invited. We won't say names. Don't say names. Don't fucking say names. So many people were invited and turned us down. And props to those who came. All those.
Some
who
were
came.
even invited and just didn't show.
Yeah, that too. Don't say names, but that's okay. But that's okay. But to the ones who did, I cannot sing the praises enough. In the weather, and still showed to the people, to the con goers, to the vendors, to you, to everyone, to him, to you, all of us. We're here, and everybody seems to be having the time of their life, and nothing can be better than that.
Right. This is a Michigan event. This isn't
Absolutely.
a Twiztid event.
Absolutely.
This is more about giving back to the place that has housed us and
For sure.
harbored us since wee little saplings dripping from the side of an old bark, infested
it.
with red ants.
I was gonna say there was some sort of infestation. I knew it.
Yeah,
Sure.
but
Right.
yeah, that we don't want people to be like, oh, it's just another Twiztid event.
For
It's
sure.
not. This is a Michigan event. This is something for everybody.
Right.
Because
But
believe
then-
it or
but-
not, you played a part in who we are, either career, personally, growing up. You know what I mean? It's some
Right.
part.
Right. Absolutely.
It's all played a part.
Yeah. I love that you call it a pop, like a pop con. It's not
culture.
sci-fi. It's not comic.
Right.
You know,
It's a blanket statement
It's a
that covers
celebration.
everything,
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
a
like when you
celebration
start
of pop culture.
when you start pigeonholing things and making it be just that one demographic, you isolate it, and then no, it's
You
not
become
fun.
bland.
Right,
You can
right.
only get
all
so many
sci-fi.
horror guests.
It's all sci-fi, and all the horror people are like, I'm not so much into Robbie the Robot. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And then we're like, are they gonna have Funko Pops? And the wrestling guys are like, what the fuck's a Funko Pop? You know what I mean? So it's like if you can bridge that gap, and it's like
we
pop
looked at our
culture
core audience, and we were
Absolutely.
like, what do they love? What do they absolutely love? And we picked a few things, and we focused on that.
Right.
100%.
Luckily, a lot of those things were things that we loved as well.
I mean, we're no different than they are,
we're
right?
really close to them, and you know what I mean. So it's like it was like a home run, man. It was like good.
Right.
Man, huge props to you guys. Every time I turn on, you guys are doing something here, and you have a concert tonight. You did one last night.
We're hosting the after VIP party,
Okay.
the cocktail mixer. We're rubbing elbows with the celebs tonight for the VIPs that have the badges and such.
Yep.
Want to come up there, have a cocktail, hang out with us, Kane, Blaze, I don't know, ABK, whoever may be up there, Jay Muse, I don't know, whoever's hanging out tonight. And performances by Blaze and G Mo Ski.
Yes.
And hosted by me and this guy right here.
Man,
So-
how are you guys doing it? Like, how do you get this energy?
We found this company in Arizona that makes holograms.
Clones. They've been genetically cloning
You've seen
ourselves.
it. They did it with Michael Jackson, I believe
Right.
it was. Same thing.
These are genetic symbionts, and at the end of the night, they just dissolve in our bathtub, and then a new one,
Whoop.
a
Yeah,
new one
right
just
through 'em.
melts in the morning. I was gonna say, truth be told, we're actually fucking humming off of what, 3.5 hours sleep, maybe, and about I don't know,
Maybe a scotch less.
yeah, and about what, 2.5 ounces of weed and lots of agua.
Right.
So yeah, it's been a light lunch. We haven't got a time to eat. Every time I turn around,
I
it's
haven't
like,
even pooped yet. I
Hey.
gotta poop.
we're very thorough.
Man's gotta poop.
Sometimes a man has to poop. I mean, that's a serious thing. Like, everybody poops, right? But when you're not allowed to because of the schedule, welcome to conventions on the other end.
We don't care. We put our pooping aside for the people.
Right.
All right. Can I get
Look,
you?
he was like, all right. Oh, we're so unprofessional. I'm sorry. That's what makes us fun.
We're here with WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash, Downriver, former Downriver resident, and just kind
Are
of.
you ever not? You're always you're never not a resident.
True. Well, closer. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So Downriver native. How's that?
Yeah, that's it. That's the word we're looking for.
Did you get back to Michigan very often anymore?
I still my brother and sister are here, my aunt's here, my stepdad's here, so anytime I can.
I know it's been a long time since you've made like a public appearance up this way, but you still come home to visit family and everything. What's your favorite thing about the area when you're in town? Any favorite restaurants or?
You gotta have me a Lafayette Scone. That's key.
I was just telling my friends yesterday that I've never actually been there.
Are you kidding me?
I've lived in Metro Detroit my whole life, and I've never been to Lafayette or American Coney Island.
I've never walked into America.
Well,
That's on Detroit.
fair enough.
Lafayette. Used to be the Senate, but I think that's gone now.
I believe you're right. So how long's it been since you've spent any significant time downriver?
But none of my family lives down there. But every time I come through, like the last time I came through, I took a buddy of mine from Wisconsin, and we went down river, and then we out towards Trenton. We went to out towards 75. They got that Buffalo Wings, all that. None of that stuff that was there when I was a kid or anything, but we went down there. I trained at the LA Fitness down there, so we were down there for a day. But to me, it's just like downriver doesn't change. Trenton doesn't change too much. The Keck Hardware's still there.
It is. I was there within the last week.
Yeah, see?
So where was it exactly? I know you're from Trenton. You grew up there, but you actually went to school in Southgate, if I remember correct, right?
I went to Trenton for 2 years, and I went to Southgate Aquinas my junior and senior year.
Was that did you transfer for the basketball program?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, you coached downriver after high school, didn't you?
I coached. I was an assistant coach in Riverview for a season.
So you've been kind of everywhere downriver. You almost be like Mr. Downriver.
I could be Mr. Maybe I might run as Mr. Downriver.
You might be the most famous guy from Trenton.
Lee Norwood, the De Palma brothers. Maybe I might be the most. I might be the most famous guy from Trenton.
You're getting punked behind you.
Who's is it Bischoff or Scott?
Scott. So what's your best memory from downriver growing up? Like, what would you do on a Friday night in high school if you weren't at a basketball game?
Well, you'd go to Jerry's Party Store, you get your 12-pack of beer, you drive around, drink your beer, eat a couple pretzel rods, chase the girls.
Any good local hookups?
Elizabeth Park was always good in the summertime. Girls would sit out. That was kind of old school. They were going to drive and talk. Drink Saloon.
It's still there.
Drinks is still there. Drinks. There was the Kickapoo out on Groseal. Where else we used to go? I don't know. There's a local. Uncle Ben's. Uncle Ben's was a little place on West Road where you drink.
Okay, yeah. I don't know that one myself. It might not be there anymore.
Probably closed. Used to be next to 1 Hour Martinizing.
And now, while I have you, as a Turtle fan myself, I gotta ask, what was it like on the set when you were filming Ninja Turtles?
It's my first movie, so everything was new to me.
Now, did you film for a long time on that? I know you only had a couple scenes, but...
But that was back when they used to bring you and you'd be on set for months, you know. So I pretty much watched the process. I was actually when Vanilla Ice came and shot his scene. That was on his birthday. Okay. So I was there for the Vanilla Ice birthday party.
Okay. And then, do you have any other projects you're working on now that you're able to talk about? Or are you just kind of enjoying retirement? And maybe.
Well, I mean, I've had my knee. I had my knee replacement, so I've kind of had to put like anything project-wise on hold. Starting to talk to. I've got a script that I've got to read that I'll start on Monday, and there's a couple other projects that. Like I've had auditions that I've had to turn down and a lot of things. So now it just, once I'm home for in about another month, I should be able to start, you know, going to auditions again and looking and getting in the process. But right now I'm just trying to, you know, I'm still beat up and just, you know, trying to get through that.
Well, thank you for your time. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so one more thing. I was listening to Barracks Talk, which is part of DV Radio. It's like a veterans podcast network, but they're a radio network. So you go to dvradio.net and you can listen to this dysfunctional veteran radio station. It's actually really, really cool. And they gave Media Litter Sandwich a, well, sort of shout out. Not sure how to describe it. I'm just gonna play it for you. So let's go ahead and play this. And remember, the audio version is different from the video version. So if you're an audio listener, you can watch these interviews on the YouTube channel. And I will play the audio version of the shout out, but you might want to watch the video version because it's interesting. So you might want to see my reactions to it. So let's go ahead and do that.
Their show being hopefully syndicated very shortly, and a is it Media Litter Sandwich, Joaquin?
Yeah, Media Litter Sandwich with Toaden K.
Yes, I that's a tongue twister. Say that 5 times fucking fast. We're working on syndicating. No. We're working on syndicating their show right here as well. You hear stuff from them such as help me explain this, Joaquin, because it's really hard to explain their shows because they're always going in and out of certain topics and production.
It's three dudes from Michigan sitting in a basement with a studio. And they do a podcast, it's really a YouTube show, but they have a podcast as well. And they like interview people that have anything to do with media, print, video, audio, and they're actually pretty cool. And Toaden happens to be an Army veteran, so there's a little veteran tie there. The other two, I'm not sure if they're vets or not.
I thought Toaden
especially Crazy Mark. He's like, Crazy Mark's a crazy guy.
I thought Toaden was a crown eater.
Excuse me?
I thought Toaden was a crown eater. Marine.
What the is he? I got infantry off of him. Maybe he was a Marine. I don't know, but
I think he was a Marine.
Oink says he's a Marine in the chat. Maybe he is a Marine. But if he was a Marine, he's a fucking ground pounder. So
yeah, most definitely.
Infantry. One just rides in boats.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so we've got their shows upcoming. We've got Joaquin. You've got a show coming out that we're actually editing as well. We're in the process of it. You want to tell them a little bit about it?
Okay, so let me clear a few things up. One, I was a Marine, not Army. Just full disclosure, I was not infantry. I was in the warehouse. Full disclosure, yes, I was a Pogue. That's fine. Pogue means person other than grunt. That's what a Pogue means. And yes, we are looking into syndication with DB Radio, which I'm very excited about. We're all very excited about. We're still working on it. It's not set in stone yet. So once it is, I'll announce it, and we will be broadcast on their radio station before the podcast here comes out. We're still working on the details, and I will be available in the chat on that website, and on the website on dvradio.net. I'll be available in the chat during their broadcast. It won't be live. That might work on that in the past, or we'll work on that in the future. We will work on that in the future, and if we do go live, we'll go live on their radio station, online radio station. So that'll be really cool. Let me know what you think. Let me know about these interviews. Should I do more interviews like this? Because I could just put it in the can, meaning pre-record them, and then I could do episodes where I just show the interviews. I know I started off the early episodes. We did several of these in the episodes, like before we hit 10, we did several like that, where we talked about the interviews after we showed the clips. If you want us to do stuff like that again, let us know. It'll actually open up the doors where we could get more people. Even though we've been pretty ongoing with interviews inside of our basement studio, which is not in the basement. I actually opened up the window so you could tell that we're not in the basement. But it is a little makeshift studio. That's okay. Anyways, comment, rate, subscribe. I'm on Toaden.com. You find Media Litter Sandwich on MediaLitterSandwich.com, and Podbeam and Stitcher and Podknife and iTunes and TuneIn and a bunch of other stuff apparently, which is really cool. So let us know. Comment, rate, subscribe. Find our Facebook group. Talk to us through that. Probably the best way to interact with us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And may the algorithms be in your favor.